Hey everybody, welcome back to part 2 of our PSA submission with Gem Mint Masters here. And as I said on the earlier video, we've got our Gem Mint collection back here of our golds and oranges. So hopefully, a lot of these guys are going to join that club. So keep an eye out for future videos, reveals on, some of those cards that'll be coming. This is probably one of my more exciting submissions, so I'm looking forward to that one. So keep an eye out for that. It's knowing PSA, it's probably gonna be a couple months from now. So, yeah, keep an eye out. Might even be 2024, early 2024 in January or something. So, all right. So as I mentioned in the last video, this video here is gonna be focused on packing up and submitting these cards to PSA. You will be amazed how easy this process is, and I'll try to keep it as short and simple as possible. I think this will be my 20th submission, and all this year. So I've definitely kept busy and really trying to kind of perfect what I do here. So hopefully this is some good information for you guys. And a lot of the supplies I'm using too, I'll link in the description of this video. So you'll know kind of where to get your boxes and any of the packing materials to make it super easy for you. So I'll kind of go through the materials here. To start off, we're going to have our box. So this is just a simple, I think it's like a 7x5x4 rectangular box. I like to use the rectangular boxes because you can just lay the cards in there, pretty easily. I do have some square boxes and I've tried it. It just really doesn't work all that well. And you'll see when I put them in, these will work pretty nicely. And then also I've got just a couple pieces of cardboard here. If you can see, they're cut to the size of the card saver. So when I do, they're fit fully in there. So when I put this stack in there, I'm just gonna have these two pieces of cardboard in between. I'm just using scrap cardboard for this, just so I can cut it perfectly to the size I need it. We've got our painter's tape. This is gonna go around the cards. You want to always use painter's tape. It's easy to remove. It doesn't really impact the surface or anything like that. So painter's tape is a must. And then I've got my simple shipping packing tape. I use this Easy Start Duck brand. This dispenser is really nice. I'll just go around the box. I'm pretty generous when I put tape around this box because I don't want anything to happen to it. And I think you guys will probably agree. And then we've got all of our PSA paperwork. So if you haven't done a submission yet, you'll get a label like this label right here. And I'll show you when we pack, goes on the outside of the box. And then here is just the rest of the paperwork. So you'll see this has to go in with the shipment. And then at the end, you'll see there's this customer copy. That's the one piece that you keep for yourself. So I'm gonna throw this one off to the side actually. And then lastly, just got some sections of bubble wrap here. And you'll see I'm gonna wrap those around the cards into the box very nicely so that it does not move around at all. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna go ahead and just take my two cardboard and put these on the outside, one on the outside. So you've got one piece on each side. Get those nice, and you can see they fit nicely in there. And then this is the part where you're gonna use your painter's tape. So I'm gonna rip off a couple pieces of this. I'm gonna just do a couple long ones and go around a few times. I'm gonna go vertical and horizontal. I want these cards to be in there fairly tight, but not too tight. So what I'll do is I'll kind of just go around, stuck there. So I'm gonna hold these, again, fairly tight. I'm not worried about being too tight. You can always add more if you feel like, oh wow, it's too loose or something. So I've gone around that side. And again, you can see they're still able to kind of move around in here, which is good. You want a little bit of movement. And then let's take our second piece. Okay, I'm not squeezing these cards when I'm putting it on. I'm just holding them somewhat firm, but not too firm because I don't want them moving much, but I also don't want them squished in there. So you can see, and if you're too tight, you're gonna see like a little bend up there. You can see that it's perfectly even around. Again, now these cards are not gonna move. And again, as we did in the earlier video, they're not coming out of these cases at all. They're just not. These cases are amazing. That's why I think PSA uses these. All right, so there's that. We got our little brick of cards. We're gonna take our box, and then we're gonna take our bubble wrap. I've got these kind of smaller sections. I think they're like 12-inch sections. I'm just gonna basically take the cards. I'm gonna wrap them, and you'll see. Just kind of wrap them and roll them into this bubble wrap. I might have used a little bit too much here, but we'll find out. So you can see I'm kind of rolled in there now, and then I'm going to fold it up on the sides. So now this is why this rectangular box is perfect. You can see it fits in there almost perfectly, and I've got a little bit of room here, which you'll see exactly what that's for in 2 seconds here. I'm taking my PSA paperwork, fold that up, fold it twice over. So I've got it like that, and then I'm just setting it right there. And then I'm gonna grab one more piece of bubble wrap, just kind of shove it in there so that it does not move around. I don't want these things moving at all. And I've got that nice bubble wrap, and then if you can, not hearing anything, that's perfect. That's what you want. So again, put them in there tight enough, but not too tight where you're doing anything to the cards, because that's the last thing you want to do. All right, I'll take a piece of tape. I'm just gonna close up the top here. Oops. So that's just more to close it. And then now I've got this label. I'm gonna cut this out. I'm cutting, you can see, cut around that little area. This is a must. You have to have this label on there. They are not going to, well, I'm sure they would probably accept it, but it's going to delay your cards quite a bit if you don't put that on there. So I've cut it out. I'm going to go on the side here. This is what I've done, and it's worked very well. So I'll go over, I'm going to put this on the side, and I'm just going to go right over it with the tape. I'm going to go all the way around one time, just so I know that it's in there really nicely. Now you can see I've got my label. So when they get this box, they got the label right on the side. They're gonna scan it, and then your box is received. And then the last thing, you'll put your shipping label up here on top, and then you're just gonna go around with the tape. Again, I said I'm pretty generous with the tape. I want this thing to be sealed in nicely, seal up all these gaps here. I'll even go this way. Again, I've got that label, so I want to protect that. But seal, you know, I'll go this way, and then I'll go that way too. So I have a nice sealed box. I've never had any issues. This is not a wood desk, but we'll knock on it anyway. Here, I've got a dresser behind me. But yeah, no issues. So, you know, put the time in, do it right, get them packed up nicely. And, you know, I'd like to think that it'll make your shipments go a little faster too, because everything's ready to go exactly the way PSA wants them. So thank you again. And like I said, I will include the links to all of these or most of these supplies in the description. So if you guys are looking for, you know, boxes and tape and all that, I'll have it right in there for you. See you next time.